It looks like we will finally have some NBA action after all. Barring anything drastic, the NBA is set to return around July 31st. And as you guys already know, I'm super pumped. I'm super excited. It still feels so long away, but it's coming. NBA basketball seems like it's coming, and we will finally get to resume the season. The only question now is what kind of formats will we have to determine the rest of the season? It's basically going to come down to four options, and something will be voted on for this Thursday. So let's actually take a look at the four options that will be discussed. And this a tweet from Shams Karnia saying sources, the NBA discussed four competition scenarios for restart with Board of Governors today. The four possibilities, the four scenarios are 16 teams directly to the playoffs. Now, this could be using the traditional playoff format, or it could be used with non-conferences. So that would be the 1 through 16 playoff seeding. And I actually made my picks in a video last week. Go check it out if you haven't already. The second scenario involves 20 teams with a group stage play. I also took a look at this in a video last week as well. The third scenario will include 22 teams, and games would still be played to determine seeding, and there could be a possible play-in tournament for final seeds. And then the final scenario being discussed would involve all 30 teams, and it would be a 72-game regular season, which means that there would be more of a regular season with a play-in tourney to determine playoff seeding. So these are the four scenarios, and like I said, a decision will come to fruition on Thursday. Out of these four scenarios, which do I think is most likely to happen? Honestly, I can see us just going straight to the postseason, and then it'll come down to if we'll have the traditional style playoffs, the playoffs that we've been having for the last who knows how long, or the 1 through 16 seeding, which would be a very cool concept, and it would include non-conferences. You'll have essentially the number 1 seed taking on the 16, the 2 taking on the 15, more of like a March Madness style bracket. So I think the NBA will go in that direction, where again, we'll go straight to the playoffs, and it'll be either the traditional playoff format or the 1 through 16 playoff format, but we'll see. That's that. We'll find out exactly which playoff format is used on Thursday. But in this video specifically, I wanted to talk about the Toronto Raptors, their chances at possibly repeating, and why they could, in fact, do so. So this is going to be uncharted territory, guys. You already know this is something that's never been experienced, especially in the NBA, where they've had this much of a delay in their season, or they've had to stop due to a pandemic. I mean, there's been strikes before and shortened seasons before, but never has play been suspended because of a pandemic. So teams are going to be coming back into the fold. They're going to have to get into game shape. They're going to have to, feel it out a bit and get back into the rhythm of things. Now, the Toronto Raptors, they're coming into this the defending champs. A lot of people are already sleeping on this team, saying that they would have virtually no shot at going back to back. And again, a huge element taken away from all this will be home court advantage. There will be no fans in the stand, just to reiterate that. These games will be played in essentially an empty gym. I know they were discussing maybe family members in attendance, but all in all, it's going to be an empty gym. So how will the Raptors fare moving forward in a playoff with no fans, and could they actually repeat? I'll tell you why they can, in fact, repeat, and it's going to boil down to a couple of factors here. Number one, it's going to be health. The Toronto Raptors were one of the most beaten up teams going into the suspension, but they've now had a couple of months where their players have gotten healthy. Guys like Marc Gasol, Norman Powell, even a guy like Siakam who missed some time, he's going to be ready to go. Even Fred VanVleet, Kyle Lowry, an aging guard, he's going to have some rest now. He's going to be coming in fresh. So the Raptors' health is presumably going to be at 100%. So all these guys coming back to the fold are going to be healthy. They're going to be ready to go. Another factor that will bode well for the Raptors is their team chemistry. Now, again, the Raptors know how it is to play with one another. The Raptors team chemistry is at an all-time high. It was before, and it will remain being very good into this postseason played without fans. So health, chemistry, the Raptors got that. The third element is the element of the unknown. I honestly feel that there aren't going to be favorites in any of these series because, again, no home court. This is uncharted territory, and these teams that were dominating in the regular season, having all that time off could actually be detrimental to what they were doing. You know, a team like the Bucks, a team like the Lakers, a team like the Clippers, that could also backfire for the Raptors, who were playing well. So all this time off, it will and it could hurt teams' momentum and hurt certain teams' chances. It'll be very interesting to see which teams respond and come out most ready to play. And again, this is going to come down to which players were following a diet, which players were getting into or keeping themselves in shape and getting into better shape during this pandemic. And on the other side, which players were kind of letting themselves go. All of this is going to matter, and all of this is going to determine which teams will be looking their best come a postseason played with no fans. So because there's the element of the unknown, I'm not ready to crown the Lakers champion. I'm not ready to crown the Clippers champion. Of course, I did say that the Clippers were going to win the championship at the start of the season. I'm not ready to crown the Bucks champion just because we don't know how these teams are going to look. We don't know how much of an impact the delay will cause for certain teams. So that being said, I think it's going to be open-ended, and that's also going to give other teams a chance that might have not had a chance in a traditional playoff setting. You know, a team like the Heat, a team like the Celtics, a team like the Nuggets, because it is going to factor into which teams can adapt best to the new change and to the long delay and come back ready to go. And then, of course, you know, having that health on their side, having that team chemistry on their side. So, I mean, the Raptors will be healthy. They will have their team chemistry in check. We know how good of a versatile team this is, so deep on both fronts. And then the third element will be, you know, there's not going to be a perennial favorite. Every team playing in the postseason will have a good chance, and the Raptors will have as good of a chance as some of the top tier teams. Another thing I want to quickly mention here, you know, we don't know if the pandemic and the virus will also be an issue. I mean, who knows what could happen? Let's just say, you know, the Raptors make it to the conference final or make it to the final, and all of a sudden a star player catches the sickness and he's got to sit out games. That can change the entire complexion of a playoff series. Look what happened last year with the Raptors making it to the final against the Warriors, everybody not giving the Raptors a chance. The Warriors had some injuries, and that essentially gave the Raptors the upper hand. So we could see something similar like that play out as well. It's the element of the unknown of an injury happening, or, you know, a player of higher status, of significance, contracting the virus, which then hurts their team's chances. Again, this could also, you know, go the other way and hurt the Raptors, but it could benefit the Raptors if they were to play against a team that, you know, did happen to have an injury or a player contract the virus. So there's so many elements, so many things that go into it, and this is going to be as unpredictable, I think, of a playoffs that we have seen in recent years. And again, that will give the Raptors as good of a shot to repeat than what some people are thinking. So we will see what in fact happens with all of this, but we will know the playoff format, like I said, Thursday, and then we will see the Raptors do their thing and, you know, hopefully come back with some you know, pep in their step and go the distance, as I really think this team can make it once again to a final and, you know, show us and the world that they are in fact legitimate in every sense of the word. So we'll see what happens, guys. Wanted to make a quick video on this. Again, this is your boy Luca Rosano. Please drop a like if you enjoyed the video. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. Let's hit 12K subscribers. Hit the bell for more, and feel free to keep connecting with me on social media. Anytime you guys want to talk basketball, my DMs are always open. Drop a comment down below with your thoughts, and I will be back with another video Wednesday. And then this Friday, I got a very special guest. You don't want to miss it. I know I say that about every guest, but this guest might be my biggest one yet. So definitely check out all my future videos. Keep it locked on the channel. Again, your support is really appreciated. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll catch you all again in the next one. Stay blessed and peace out.